Well, Nathan and David, thank you so much for meeting with me today. I am the traveling anesthetist, and I'm here to kind of answer a few questions that a couple of my colleagues have in regards to a CPA and an EA. And I know that both EAs and CPAs are knowledge, experienced tax professionals, but how do we distinguish both of them and when to choose a CPA versus an EA? So just a little bit, can you give me a little bit background about yourselves? Whoever would like to start first?
Sure. So my name's David. I've been working in accounting since 2013. I have a bachelor's in accounting, a master's in business administration, and I'm currently an enrolled agent. I have experience with bookkeeping, payroll, federal tax returns, and state and local taxes.
That's great. Thank you. Nathan?
All right, my name is Nathan Yadet, and I have similar experience like David. I have a bachelor's degree in accounting and a CPA license in Texas and California. I work as an auditor for state of California and then controller office in Texas before transitioning to the public sectors and work for BDO and then Ernest Young before I started my private practice.
Awesome. Thank you. You all come in with a lot of experience there in the tax industry. So
That's
thank
cool.
you. So a first question I have is, what is an accountant?
So an accountant is a typical professional with a bachelor's degree in accounting. Accountants helps businesses make a critical financial decision by handling the finances, such as collecting, tracking, or correcting the company's business transaction, and then preparing the financial statements.
Awesome. Now, when it comes to breaking down this accountant into a CPA and an EA, both being tax professionals, how do I distinguish both of them?
The easiest distinction is the licensure. CPA is a licensed professional, and the EA is authorized by the federal government to represent people in front of the IRS.
And I'm kind of want to dig a little bit more about this topic because I'm still a little confused. And I think this is where I've come across, I became a sole proprietor first, then I went into my LLC, then I created all these other entities. And, you know, I've learned so much about tax and accounting throughout this whole process. And I think my question would be, is, are you open to kind of explore a little bit more about what is a CPA?
Or a certified public accountant is it's a certification given by accounting professionals for accounting professionals who met the state licensing requirements to earn a CPA designation. The requirements are education, training, and experience, and then also, of course, passing the CPA exams.
Okay. Now, how does it distinguish of what is a EA?
So an EA, I think I mentioned, is they're an enrolled agent is a tax professional who's authorized by the federal government to represent taxpayers before the IRS. They normally represent people in regards to tax issues such as audits, collections, or appeals. And also another distinction is an enrolled agent's focus is federal taxes, but they can also provide tax advice, tax return filings, and based on the EA's background, such as additional education or prior specialized accounting experience, they can provide a few other accounting services.
Okay. Now, when do I decide to choose whether I want to need a CPA or an EA?
So yeah, just like David covered, it depends on the background of the EA, because the EA is just it's, you know, if you look at, if you're considering what the required to acquire an EA from the IRS, it's one can choose the EA for just, you know, for tax preparation and planning. But however, if somebody needs beyond tax preparation and planning, such as financial planning, management, or more, the CPA could be a better choice.
Okay, so pretty much what you're saying is it all depends on what your needs are in regards
Correct.
to when you should go with an EA or a CPA, correct?
Correct.
Awesome. Thank you.
Okay.
So let's say I'm a new client seeking guidance. My first step would be to get tax consultation. And to be honest, there are some tax firms that charge for a tax consultation itself. Would you be open to sharing a few steps to take when seeking tax professional services?
Yes, so knowing the certification of the person holds and the experience the person acquired and the industry he or she focuses on could be a good indication, the quality consultation you might receive.
Now, let's say that I want to be prepared for a tax consultation. What things should I have handy for the accounting firm?
So the prior 2 years tax return will be a good start for the consultant to get familiar with your returns. And then any document that you were provided by any institution for tax purposes also should be provided to them. In addition to those documents, the consultant should, initiate a conversation about, any life-changing events since the last tax return that could impact your, tax preparation for the current year.
And when you mean life-changing events, what is an example of that?
It could be, somebody getting married or having a kid or, a lot of things we can go down that change live event changes that definitely can change your tax prepare for the current year.
Okay, great. Thank you.
No problem.
So now let's talk a little bit about bookkeeping. Now, this is another topic I would like to cover if you're open to the discussion, because I feel like bookkeeping and bookkeeper and accounting kind of tend to kind of work in together, but sometimes people may confuse what they are and what they mean and when you actually need one. So what exactly is bookkeeping?
Yes, definitely. So bookkeeping is just keeping track of a business financial transactions, or more simply put, keeping track of the money that's coming in and the money that's going out of a business.
And what is a bookkeeper?
So bookkeepers, they're actually the person who's responsible for keeping track of the business financial transactions.
So does that mean I always need a bookkeeper?
It just really depends on the level of involvement you'd like to have in your business and the amount of monthly transactions you anticipate to have in your business.
And now, when it comes to bookkeeping and bookkeeper, now how do I differentiate accounting? Because I guess in my mind, I always thought that accounting was bookkeeping, but I got that wrong a long time ago. So, what exactly is accounting?
So they work together. Accounting, by definition, is the process of recording, summarizing, and reporting the financial transactions that pertain to a business. So everything that a bookkeeper keeps track of is part of accounting.
Now, as booking continues to change with all this new technology in the last 10 years, um, my question to you is, what type of online accounting service software is actually out there right now?
So there's actually many different types of accounting software on the market today, and with some of the most popular being QuickBooks, FreshBooks, and Xero. Um, Access to online software is very accessible nowadays.
And do you have any recommendation for any user-friendly healthcare approved? What I mean by healthcare approved is actually something that's easy to navigate. You know, as being in the healthcare profession, we're already, our mind is already busy with other things. So I want something that's easy, something that's going to communicate and we can talk the same language and it's not so hard to navigate.
Yes, actually, I think we'd recommend QuickBooks for anyone who's just starting out and would like to have a easy to use platform with tons of additional resources. QuickBooks also offers a lot of room for growth and additional third-party apps that integrate with the software very seamlessly.
Oh, that's pretty awesome. It's pretty awesome to be able to have that. I know that like for myself, I know that there's like mileage tracking and expense tracking now. So it's kind of nice where everything just integrates together. Um, What tips do you have for someone transitioning from a W-2 to a 1099 lifestyle?
So for someone transitioning from a W-2 to a 1099, the first thing is to definitely make sure you have a way to separate your personal from business transactions. That could mean getting 2 separate bank accounts. Definitely have multiple tax and accounting consultations. The more you educate yourself, the easier it's going to be. Also, to make sure to educate yourself in the different types of business entities, like a sole proprietor, LLC, or a corporation. Like we mentioned before, bookkeeping software is readily available and is a business expense. So make your life easier and choose a software that will help you simplify your business needs.
Oh, I very much agree with you on that, because I can honestly tell you, when I was first as a sole proprietor, I was using a little notebook to keep track of all my expenses. So definitely this QuickBooks or any software that you end up using is definitely it's like a game changer in this new world of technology. So I really appreciate the tips and the information, and thank you so much.
Yes,
Thank you.
Thank you.
So I want to thank you again for your time, for answering these questions that many of us healthcare providers have, and especially us in the anesthesia world. A big amount of individuals are going into this 1099 world. We're not really understanding just the basics. So I really appreciate you taking the time with me today to answer a few questions some of my colleagues have. Now, what type of services do you offer?
So our firm NPA offers general accounting, that including bookkeeping and then tax services. So we cover pretty much everything that is related to that.
Okay. And now, are you currently accepting new clients?
Yes, we are.
And if so, like, what would you like to provide? Would you like to provide any contact information that, easy for you, someone can easily contact you and, ask questions, set up a consultation, how would this go about?
We would like to be, usually email would be a good way of to communicate with us, and then we should be able to respond within 24 hours.
Okay, and I'll go ahead and put our email at the bottom so they can see where they can contact you both for any tax consultations, or maybe potentially have any accepting new clients. So that's always great, especially during the tax season when it's always very busy. It's good that to know that you're still accepting clients right now. Now, what would be the best approach to reach you? Because you did say in an email, but let's say, is it best to email you and then follow up with a phone call, or just an email directly?
Yeah, we prefer email, but we don't mind a phone call as well.
Okay. Well, thank
Yeah.
you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This was great. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.